No idea. I have no idea about any of that. Was he a game show?
He was a game show
a
connoisseur.
guest?
Yes. He was one of those guys. Because I never really saw him. He was on like, variety shows and stuff, but he was never on like a show. He had never had a show or a big movie. He was just kind of on all those, like you said, game shows and variety shows and talk shows. It was weird.
There were just guys that were like that back in the day.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them.
And sometimes there would just be dudes that were on fucking like they'd be on like Carson or something. They would just be on there. There would be guys that went on Carson.
Yeah, no real relevance. I mean,
I think I think Buddy Hackett did Vegas and shit like that, but he would just come on, right?
Yeah, and what's that other guy? Marty Allen. Remember him?
Marty Allen. Oh, Marty Allen, of course. I remember Marty Allen very well.
George Goebel. I mean, all those guys.
So, what's new with you, buddy?
How you been?
This is the first time I guess that I've talked about publicly since Brad died. I think most people by now know that my friend Brad Krantz, who I was did the Brad and Britt cast and the Brad and Britt show with for 20 years, and I've known for 36 years. Brad passed away on the 6th. He very bravely battled. I think the name of the disease is myeloma or it's myeloma or something. Anyway, his bone marrow didn't create enough white blood cells or hemoglobin and stuff, and it made him very sick. And if it's untreated, I think it turns into leukemia. But they caught it early. He had just a great medical team. And I know we haven't really thought about those guys that much because they deal with this stuff all the time, but I know it was a huge loss for them too. He had 2 separate bone marrow transplants and his body rejected each one of them. And because of the nature of what they did, his immune system was down to nothing. So anytime that he got sick at all, he would have to go to the hospital because he had no immune system and he couldn't really be out in public that much. And, it was very, very difficult. It was very tough. But like I said, Brad was my friend for 36 years since I was 19 years old. I'm going to turn 55 this summer. So that was it was a big part of my life. It's a big part of my professional life. You were there at the beginning of when the Brad and Britt show started.
Yeah,
in 2004, and you had not. I was thinking about that because when Rock 92 started kicking off, you were in college. You'd already gone away to school, right?
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, I just right about that same time. Yeah. When I came back, I definitely listened to Brad in the mornings all the time. I don't know if I ever told you this, but back in like 87-ish, maybe 88-ish.
Yeah,
buddy of mine, we used to listen to him all the time, and I don't know what the particular subject was that morning that we were calling about, but we made up this little redneck song about AR-47s and called it in, and we sang it on the phone, and he loved it, man. We thought he'd hang up on us,
Isn't that the greatest?
That's awesome, man. I've never forgotten that, man. That was just, and it was just like AK-47, AK-47. I mean, it was just something stupid like that, And but yeah,
that's like when you were a listener and you called into your show. That was like an adrenaline rush. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's what heroin feels like or cocaine.
It's got to be something like that.
And then like when you were doing stuff live on the air, like we did, and you didn't know exactly how it was going to turn out, but you were kind of doing it. You get that same. There's no rush like it. There's nothing like that, man.
And you can't really explain it to anybody that's not in the business. I mean,
I know
hard. It sucks, but it's I know exactly what you mean, though.
And even like when you like fail, and it's like, but you're like, oh man, and you want to go do it again. It's like it's the best. It was the best, Jerry.
Yeah.
So when you got hired to that station, because maybe you were hired, I think maybe before we were, and you were like, oh, Brad Krantz is going to be on this station. And you were like, okay, I know him, but that other guy, I have no idea who that guy is.
not sure about that dude.
I don't know what that guy.
And like day one, wrestling came up, and that's all it took, you know.
Your ears perked up, and you were like, "Oh shit!
Okay, all right, we're in good shape here."
It's gonna be. Well, you had to be kind of psyched that you were going to be working at a station with Brad Krantz.
Oh heck yeah, man!
Yeah, that was
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, because you know, I don't really know any of those guys from the OG Rock 92 crowd, you know, the Ambergs and the Pete Bunches and that sort of thing. So I didn't really meet those guys until after the fact. So but to work with them, it's like, wow, you know. Yes,
it was very cool. That was I mean, we went through a lot that first year. I'd been out of the business for a year, and I'd gotten divorced, and I had no idea that I was ever going to be able to be back in radio. I wanted to, but I didn't know. And then this was just like an insane opportunity. And we were working for a guy that was just a megalomaniacal.
Good Lord.
That first year was it was a bloodbath, man. Because I had like intense anxiety and shit, and he was just like punching every fucking button he possibly could. And then
and you had it much worse than I did. I kind of had it easy doing over there, you know.
No, yeah, we were as they say, we were in the heat spot there. You know,
oh man, God, man, the sun lamp was on for sure.
But you know, we stuck together, and he didn't throw me under the bus and stuff like that. And it, like when we went to Charlotte back in 2012, it was even the divide and conquer thing was definitely, they were trying to do that to us like all the time, like fucking all the time. And he could have been like, well, let's see, I was really popular when I was here the first time, and now I'm not so much. Hey, what's the difference? Like, he could have been like, oh, it's fucking you. You're just making everything fuck. Well, he didn't do that.
Well, he knew better. He knows.
Well, we presented a united front. We were not going to let anybody divide and conquer us. And I told you, I think I probably told this story to people to where they're sick of it. I think I have, but maybe you haven't heard this. The first, you know, they hated us within 2 weeks of being on WBT in Charlotte. They just hated us. And it was very obvious that I don't know how they hired us without listening to the recordings. So we provided many hours of recordings of the show. So they should have known what they were getting, but they didn't. And it was just like,
and that's their fault right there.
That's it.
That's their fault.
They fucking hated us. And it was very obvious. And I think this is all recorded. This is all well known, and it's been established publicly. John Hancock, who had been there for many years, was Charlotte's most beloved, established. He finally goes in there to the office at about, I think we'd been in there about a year ago. He goes, I want afternoons, and I don't care. You can put them on at night or whatever. So they did that. They put him on in afternoons. They put us on at night. We were demoted. All they had to do was pay out the contract, send us home, and go on with whatever you want to do with the rest of your station. Obviously, you hate us. We suck. We're bringing the station down. Send us home. Let us ride the contract out, and you get on with your lives, and we'll get on with our lives. They couldn't do that. You're going to fucking work your contract out. You're going to do that. So we went to nights. We were working from 6 to 9. And again, they hated us. And we sucked. So one night, and they allowed us to do the show from my house, from here, from where I'm sitting right now. And one night after the show or during the show, and that was after the show, because the program director who hated us.
It's amazing.
Are you seeing a pattern?
Slightly.
Let me sidetrack for a moment to tell this story about what a bozo this guy was. So we did this thing called Disco Friday, where we would just play disco bumpers. All we did is play disco bumpers. It was a fun thing to do. It got you into a fun mood on a Friday, and it was a little different. We called it Disco Friday. We had an entire fucking meeting down there where the guy goes around the room, has us describe what our main listener is, like what the key demographics of our main listener are. And he goes, and it was ostensibly to tell us to quit doing Disco Friday. Like an all-staff meeting, when all he had to do was send us a memo or an email going, stop doing that. That's all he had to do. That's all the guy had to do.
God, man.
So one night we're sitting after the show at my house, and there's an email that goes, bonuses will be paid on blah, 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 and it'll show up on this paycheck. And we both looked at each other and went, huh. And Brad sends an email going, bonuses, tell me more. Well, we sucked so bad and our ratings were so good, they had to pay us more money because we ended up hitting demographic targets that were in our contract. So long story short, we did this a couple of times. I think they ended up paying us about $20,000. They wouldn't have had to if they would have just sent us the fuck home. So they demoted us and we got a raise.
God, man.
And I always said that
Bizarro world.
I don't think anybody else in broadcasting ever did that. I think when they fired Ann Curry from the Today Show, they gave her a raise and like sent her off to do like special assignments and shit like that. I think we were the only people who ever did that.
That's, that whole run that you guys had with WBT is just the most bizarre crap I've ever seen, I've ever heard in my life, man.
We ended up, let me tell you a couple of stories. First of all, we ended up doing the Satan character on that show, which was crazy. It was we had a Satan character where Brad would talk to Satan. I'm just ripping off Steve Dahl. Steve Dahl was doing this in the early 80s, but this station had not they had not evolved since the 80s. They were still stuck in, pre-assassination Reagan era, pre-assassination attempt Reagan era, So, and I remember one of the promotion people had come to us and goes, God, I went to this business the other night. They were talking about this Satan thing that you were doing. I've never heard them. I've never heard any personality get talked about. I was like, okay. So one time they hated us so much. They had everybody at the station go out for a taste of Charlotte, which was a big thing in Uptown Charlotte, where they do the restaurants and people stop by and you eat corn dogs and shit. I don't know, but they have you out there. Guess who wasn't invited to hang out? Guess who couldn't join in any reindeer games?
I don't have a clue.
We came. We're in my house again, and I said to him, "Fuck it, let's act like we're there. Let's fuck with the microphones like they make them sound like we're live there. Let's put a loop of crowd noise on, and we'll pretend we're at a Taste of Charlotte all night." We did the first break and we explained to the audience what we were going to do.
Oh, man.
And we told them, these people hate us. They can't stand us. They wish we would die.
And see, these people probably think it's all just a bit.
We go to the break and Brad goes, well, you went a little harder than I thought we were going to go there, but it's okay. So I fucked with the EQ on the mic, made him sound a little tinny, put a loop on of crowd of, and we acted like we're up together. Oh, I go, hey Brad, it's Hooters Girls. Hey, it's the Hooters Girls. Shit like that. Oh,
that's classic.
One of the last attempts I ever made to just make it work before I realized this isn't going to work. This is stupid. It's like, I'm going to think of something from your past that'll give you the skeevies. Going to marriage counseling. It's like that. It's like this, and then you realize, this isn't going to work. We're wasting our time.
Yeah, the last hurrah.
They had the Steve Smith Ice Up Son game with the New England Patriots on Monday night. This would have been in like November of 2013. Steve Smith says "Ice Up Son" at the end of a Monday Night Football game. As they've beaten the New England Patriots, and there was supposed interference on Rob Gronkowski at the end of the game. It was a pretty famous game. I immediately, I order Ice Up Sun t-shirts, have them shipped to the station. We're going to mail them out to people, to our winners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try to just generate some kind of buzz, something.
Yeah. These
motherfuckers from the promotions department go, we don't mail out prizes. Which was completely new. I drove from my house in McLeansville down to Charlotte, went into that station, grabbed my t-shirts. Nobody said a word to me. I didn't see any. I was like a ghost going through that fucking place. And I went on the way home and I dropped off t-shirts to some addresses on the way home and then mailed out the rest of them. It was
unreal.
That's how much these people hated my guts.
I've known about this stuff, about the maybe not some of the details you told. I hadn't heard a couple of these things yet, but just I've known how WBT treated you guys. I definitely know how ZTK treated you guys, and I know how individually inside ZTK some of the people treated you guys. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. If I had you guys on as a morning show and I owned the station, I'd be sitting back with a cigar in my mouth going, ha, 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 ha.
But you know how many times now I've had years to think, and I've like been that first year, gee, I should have just fucking walked out. I should have just quit. And then I would have called up, I would have called up the vice president and said, look, it's been nice, but I can't work. Your general manager sucks balls. And then I think something would have happened, and then that person would have probably been removed. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
I didn't
don't really know. I mean, I think you did what I would have done. You did the right thing. You just, dealt with the shit hand they gave you,
I thought at the end of that first year when that guy left and the next guy came in, who was fabulous, by the way, gave me a recommendation on the job that I'm in now. I thought, geez, we could be on the station for 20 years. We could really do this. And we could have been had there not been some other mismanagement going on. I say that, but there were people that earnestly gave it a hard try, and they were supportive of us. But there was a lot of stuff going on.
Sure.
But that was part of the stuff that we went through, in the 20 years together. And then we did, 10 years of podcasting, and so people really enjoyed it.
Podcast was hot, man. Podcast was hot.
I think it was maybe some of our best work. I know that it wasn't quite as interactive as some of the stuff on the radio, but
that's the only thing that was missing, really. But that's just a podcast thing.
As you know, callers can be stupid sometimes and ruin your show.
Yes, they can.
We worked with a consultant for years. They're like, callers, get them callers. I'm like, I don't think they pay Rush Limbaugh like $30 million a year because he has the best callers. I don't believe. I mean, what's his name? The SEC guy, Paul, whatever his name is on the SEC network, the guy with that the bald guy, Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Now he's a guy. Yes, callers make the callers the star, and you get to know Becky out in Opelika or whatever, and her trailer burned down and shit like that. Yes, I get that, but yes, I think it was some of our. And I said at the funeral, I said, I didn't win any awards in my career, but knowing that Brad co-signed on me, that was a bigger award than any stranger could have given me. And knowing that people like you that I respect in the business were fans of our show, that made me feel better than any award that anybody could have given me. I always said that I gained respect from people that I respected. And that was my award. That was my Marconi. That was my whatever Billboard award, whatever award you want to give. And that meant a lot to me. But yeah, we went through a lot in those 20 years, and it bonded us to us. But he was always a guy that believed in me, and he was a guy that was genuinely interested in how I was doing, and he was a very close friend. And I really am going to miss him. And I'm just so, when I was done with radio, and I think you and I talked about this, I was like, there's always going to be a level of bitterness, because I did this from the time I was 16 years old to the time I was 44, just about 44, with that year off for good behavior. But it was all, it was what I did and think about what you are when you're 16 and think about what you are when you're 44, and you're a very different person. And then you're like, person. I'm 44. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? I don't even know. So I was very bitter, and I'm like, I don't have this anymore. And I'm pissed, and this other person's doing it, and I'm not. I deserve this, and they don't, But it gave me all of these experiences, and it gave me a chance to do stuff and to meet some awesome people, some of which I've known you now for 21 years. And John Amberg, you talked about, I've known John for 36 years, and just, it was a very special time, and it was something that was brought into my life, and it gave me some really great experiences. And one of those was having Brad Krantz for a friend for all that time. So I know that I was in contact with Brad's widow, which is just a weird thing for me to say, but and she's getting along okay. I floated the idea of I want to get together on October the 23rd, which is not only, I know that's Johnny Carson's birthday, but it would have been also Brad's 70th birthday. I always wanted to do the roast. I never got to do the roast for him. And
oh man,
seems
that would be classic.
seems a little tough now that he's gone. I guess they can't really respond. It'd be tough, but I'd like to at least get some people together. And
yeah, that would have been great. The whole thing, man, the roast and then his response. Oh, the whole thing would have been a gem.
I know that people would ask me if I was on the show with various people. In real life, they go, "Hey, is that guy a jerk?" And I'm like, "With Murphy, yes." No, I'm just kidding.
Sort of.
Jack and I are fine. It's not a problem. But no, he was. I think the thing that people didn't know about Brad was what a loyal friend that he was. He was exceptionally loyal, and I don't think I'm really gonna. I don't think it's something that you really ever get over. B. Dot from 102 Jams used to be with 102 Jams. He lost his mom like a year or two ago, and he's like, grief is just dumb, and it is. It pops up at the wrong places, and it just it's completely ridiculous. But we've already. I guess I can kind of say this now. We've already started the process of attempting to put him in the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame, which is something that I brought up at the funeral. Our old boss, Bill Zachary, has already approached another guy that Dick Harlow, and they're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling on that. And I hope I don't jinx it with this, but I hope that, in time they'll do that, because I think that would be an amazing thing to do for the family for sure.
I mean, I can't see how it wouldn't happen, but we both know how that stuff goes.
Yeah, I've already told you a little
bit.
I don't want to, I'm not disparaging anything, but they always, it's kind of old school, and it's a very conservative body. And then sometimes, some guy that did a farm report in a husky for 40 years will get priority over somebody.
It's amazing.
That's just how it is. That's just how that goes. But yeah.
Well, I'm sending out all the positive vibes for it to happen. That's for sure.
I think it would be an amazing thing. And, for the fans, I guess we had such a loyal group of people that wanted us to continue to go on and continue to do it. And a couple of people have asked me if I'm going to continue to do anything like that. And I right now, I just don't think it's going to happen. It feels like that part of my life is closed. I think I'll have to let most of my creative vibes come out on this podcast. And I was talking with Brad's brother. And I said, you just don't understand how WWE fans love to hear how much Donald Trump sucks. It's really, really amazing. They're always down to hear that.
Yeah, they just coincide like that. It's amazing. Yeah.
Some guy in Blue Sky is telling me how liberal the wrestling fan base is. And I'm like,
is that right? Okay.
Because Rhonda Sanctimonious got booed the other night. You see that?
Well, yeah, that was a little odd.
And I'm like, what I don't understand why he gets. Are they seeing him as he's like Trump's enemy? Is that why there is? Is that what you think? How did you interpret it?
I don't know. Now that you say it that way, that could be it. I thought I was just seeing a weird group of wrestling fans. An abnormal bunch of wrestling fans.
It's always weird when we see the wrestling fans who agree with us, because we always think we're the outliers.
Yeah.
Like when the people start holding they start holding Jungle Boy and Young Bucks accountable for the CM Punk thing, and we're like, that's weird. And Hangman, and we're like, well, that's weird, because we felt that way, but we thought everybody was against us and they hated Punk. And that's
so you are a normal human. Okay, good. That's good to know.
I don't know what that was about. I mean, I think he's despicable. I think he's always been despicable.
Oh, yes, he is. Of course he is. I mean, whatever, any way you look at it, he's despicable, whether he's a friend or enemy of the Mango Man. But it is just weird that those people did boo him like that.
You suck. Ron DeSantis hit with savage chants at WWE show. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was hit with a wall of boos and chants of "you suck" as he attended WWE's Saturday Night Main Event in Tampa over the Memorial Day weekend. The former Republican presidential candidate, 46 years old. God, he's accomplished a lot of bullshit in 46 years, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Appeared ringside at the Yingling Center, which is where they are today. Let me tell you a little story about the old Yingling Center. I think this is where I saw the ACC tournament finals in basketball in 2007. I think that's where they played that.
What was it called then?
I can't remember what it was called then. I can't even remember what it was called then. I'll tell you what, they'll never have the ACC tournament there again.
Nope. Nope. Not happening.
I was so excited because I was driving down to Florida. I had always wanted to go to baseball spring training my whole life. Like forever I wanted to, and I finally did it. I was finally going down there, and I was going to hang out in the Largo area, and I was going to go over and see back then the Indians playing in Winter Haven and just go around and go to baseball games. And it was going to be great. And I'm down there, and lo and behold, bam, Carolina's playing state in the ACC finals. Well, golly, I'm just a few miles away. I'm going to go right over there. So I went over there, and I got a ticket from a guy in the parking lot. And it was like $20 or whatever it was. I go in there, and I'm in there early because I want to see all this stuff, and I'm seeing the late great Mike Hogwood doing his stand-up and stuff, and I'm peering behind, looking at stuff. And one of the ushers comes up to me. It's this lady, and she goes, yeah, who's playing? So she didn't know who was playing. I go, well, that's the blue team over there. That's North Carolina. And that red team over there, that's North Carolina State. That's who that is. It was bizarre. You couldn't, and this is Florida, you couldn't get an alcoholic beverage inside the arena. Now, outside, they were having Budweiser, like, keg stand fest. Like, it was just like anything you wanted, 10 feet outside the door. But once you got inside, you couldn't have a beer. Couldn't do it. Weirdest. I'm assuming before the whole alcohol is allowed at college events kind of thing. Yeah, I know that, like, when UNCG moved to the now First Horizon Coliseum, they started being able to serve alcohol because the rule was if it is the normal state of the venue to serve alcohol, then yeah, go for it. That's what they were doing. And now try to find a place that doesn't serve you a beer or White Claw or something. Just try. You can't. Yeah. Any stadium, and we're all better for it, really. We're all much better for it.
You're not wrong.
It's made life better. The former Republican presidential candidate, 46 years old, appeared at the Yuengling Center to wave to the crowd, but was not greeted with the warm reception he had been evidently expecting. Instead, he found himself having to grin and clap along awkwardly as the animosity rained down from local wrestling fans, who made it abundantly clear that what they thought of him. DeSantis is the second associate of Trump's. Well, I wouldn't call him an associate. To be booed at the WWE event in recent months after Hulk Hogan was greeted with a chorus of jeers when he made a surprise appearance at Monday Night Raw in January. Well, there you go. See, I don't know what's going on there. Couldn't tell you.
And so you can attribute the boos for Hogan for something totally not having to do with Trump. I mean, Yeah,
but it's been such a long time since he was a racist piece of shit. I would have thought people would have, like, if you're a kid today, if you're 20, that happened when you were like 5, didn't it?
Yeah, but I mean,
I
guess people talk about that when you're growing up. So I mean,
I would think so.
I guess
it's easily Googleable.
Yeah,
he tried to defend himself afterwards, like, well, Obama used that word in a book. Yeah, he did in a book. The funny thing is, on your video, you modify the N word with the F word.
Yes. Which we've discussed this years ago.
It's like nobody really can. And then Hogan tried to go, well, that's the way it was, brother. When I was growing up, we just called each other that name. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, that didn't happen. Back in 68 and 70, you were not walking around fucking Tampa calling white dudes the N-word. Wasn't doing that. That was not happening. Oh, good times. Monday Night Raw. Oh, it was a very eventful Saturday night's main event, though.
Yeah, I missed it.
Bronson Reed is the new member of the Dangerous Alliance.
Did you have him on your bingo card?
Didn't have him. Didn't see it.
Mm-mm.
Didn't see it at all.
I did see his name floating around from somebody. I mean, but I saw about a million other names too. Who's going to be the other member? So, but yeah, his name wasn't like the prominent name I saw or anything for sure.
Do we like that? Do we like Bronny Reed as another member of that thing?
I mean, it kind of makes him look kind of badass with those two, with him and Braun Breaker standing back there behind him.
What do they have a name for that thing yet? Have they actually called themselves anything?
The douchebags. I don't know.
I was thinking like the Rollins regime, or I didn't know what they would do.
What was that stable that Heyman had back in?
That was the Dangerous Alliance.
There. Thank you, Dangerous Alliance. That's what they're kind of people are, referring to when they're. But I don't think they've actually called them anything yet.
That's weird that they haven't called them anything. Like they're dying to form like 5 new groups every week on AEW, but these people they haven't been able to figure it out yet.
It's Faction City at AEW.
And then on Saturday night's main event, Cody Rhodes comes back. So that was another big one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the results for AEW's Double or Nothing, which we didn't see.
I just read about it. I hadn't. One guy said it was the best pay-per-view he's ever seen from AEW. I mean, okay.
Wow. It was Tony Khan that said that. So
was it? Sure. Well, that might have been.
No.
You're right.
I know that he said that there was some sort of quote when he's in the post-game thing, and they were like talking about them running the Battleground, the NXT Battleground, like head-to-head with him. He goes, well, they haven't seen this since the old Jim Crockett days. I can tell you it's going to end up a lot different than that. Went, oh, God, here we go again.
Blather.
Here we go again. He's done that before. He's been like, I got a fucking lot more money than Jim Crockett had. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of this. I saw the buy-in match. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. Wow. I'm gonna say this. Anna Jay and Harley Cameron up for hottest tag team of all time.
God, I'm telling you, dude.
It's up there. I'm saying top 3. I'm saying it challenges. I'm gonna say Tori and Stacy or Lita and Trish.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think absolutely.
I think it's up there
with you.
I think it's right up there with those.
I saw a video they made like on TikTok or something, and I'm like, if this is a new tag team, I'm in. I am 100% in.
Anna Jay is like sneaky hot. I don't know what it is. She's never like top of mind as far as hotness goes, but she's almost like when you see her, you're like, oh yes, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really quite good.
Yes. Megan Bayne coming to WrestleCade, by the way.
As well as Mina Shirakawa, which Brian is very excited about. Very excited about.
That opportunity will not go by the wayside this time.
Part of Bryant Williams' Asian All-Stars, ladies and gentlemen.
Kenny Omega, line 2. Hold on.
That's why you want to meet Kenny Omega. Let's compare notes. That's funny.
What do you think of Io Sky?
Yeah, very good. It's a big thumbs up. The buy-in match: Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, Leo Rush, and Action Andretti versus AR Fox, Bandito, Commander, and Hologram. Classic AEW fuckfest.
Yeah, just a bouncy, fun. One thing about Tigers is I'm the only one.
The women's final in the Owen Hart Cup tournament: Mercedes Moné against the Hater. Mercedes Moné
from that match, actually.
What's that?
I saw some clips from that match.
So I was very surprised that Mercedes won. I mean, eventually she's going to have to lose, right? She's going to.
You'd think.
Eventually, I know the creative control card is strong with that one, but
yeah, I don't know. Can't figure that. I can't figure her out yet. I'm still in the figuring out stages.
FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. Somebody said that they really liked FTR better in a heel role, which is fine.
I think they come across more natural as heels to me.
Right.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't even know who won that match. Did FTR win that match?
FTR goes over. It was a sharpshooter. Dax puts a sharpshooter on Garcia, and it kind of passes out. So I don't know if it was exactly the Stone Cold finish, because I don't think he was bleeding or anything, but he wouldn't give up, but he passed out.
Okay.
Stretcher match: Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. I think Ricochet goes over.
I figured he would.
His girlfriend, by the way, let me just say this. I always knew she was really super hot when she was in WWE, but now I think they shadow banned her music video because her butt is just too hot. It's too hot for the internet.
I did not know that.
Oh, she was shaking that thing, and I think eventually they got her unshadow banned, and was like, this can't be right. This is too pornographic. But no, she's got clothing on. It's just like the people are being thrust into puberty based on that ass.
Well, it can't be the only one that's like that on the internet. I can't imagine, how it stands out like that to be shadow banned.
Because she had a music video, and it was Boo something. I don't know. Anyway, but she and the girls in the video were shaking their butts, and eventually I'm like, well, that's pretty hot. And eventually I think Instagram or somebody, I think the Meta people were like, whoa, oh, we can't let the children see this.
Yeah.
If the children see this, I think they're trying to do something in Texas in the App Store to keep kids out of the App Store or something. And then Tim Cook from Apple had to call up that stupid ass governor of Texas, Gregory Shake You Down Abbott. Yeah. And well, and he had to say, please, you're going to kill our business. If we can't corrupt young minds, we're fucked. It's all we've got, really.
Well, come on, man. You remember back in the mid 80s, and this is just one song. I'm just taking this one song. I could probably think about a fucking million more. Yeah. But you remember when the kids, especially girls, walk around singing She Bop?
Well, She Bop and Relax, and there's like a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's Relax. I mean, I'm telling you, there's just
about 10 other Prince songs. Like,
yeah, pick a Prince song,
There was actually a Prince song called "I'll Jack You Off."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like yes. Erotic City, the girls would be like, "Oh, good."
Oh, dude, when Kiss played that in Asheville, Kiss.
They played like 9 o'clock at night, right? And you'd be like, oh, God, you call all your friends. They're playing it.
They're playing it.
The offending line of the song, "Come on and dance while you still have your cherry." Oh my God. Satan coming through the speakers. And now if you get like, you can find that on Peppa Pig. Like Peppa Pig probably says that now on one of the shows.
Kids Bop version of Erotic City, yeah.
The AEW World Tag Title, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. I think I caught them in the pregame show. Somebody called them the Hurt Business with Renee and them.
Whoops.
But I still like my version of it, the Hurt Foundation. I don't understand how that hasn't gone over.
The Hurt Foundation.
Guevara attempted a desperate maneuver targeting Lashley and MJF, only to be intercepted dramatically by Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin then seized the moment, delivering a devastating knee strike, followed by a decisive super kick to Guevara's jaw. This powerful combination sealed the victory, allowing the Hurt Syndicate to successfully retain their AEW World Tag Team titles. There you go.
Have any thoughts on the Sons of Texas?
No. Well, okay. I mean, it's okay because they did mention Cody in the pregame show when I was watching on the buy-in. They were like, one of the most, I think it was stupid ass Alex, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
he's there going, hey, one of the most intense matches you ever had was with your brother Cody, and blah, 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 so they talked about Cody briefly. And then like Jeff Jarrett makes a point every 10 minutes of going, well, he's super close to the end of his career. There's no question about it. Dustin Rhodes, really close. So close. Can't imagine how he's going to be able to make it through this match. Sons of Texas are okay. They're fine. This one I would like to have seen. AEW Continental Championship with Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. The match reached a dramatic climax when Bailey, looking to finish Okada from the top rope, made a critical miscalculation, capitalizing instantly. Okada countered Bailey's aerial attack midair with impeccably timed and executed dropkick, followed immediately by the devastating Rainmaker Lariat. This swift and decisive combination allowed Okada to secure the victory. He retains the AEW Continental Championship. Miniature
cornball goes down.
Is that what they call him?
That's what
Cornette calls him.
That's what our friend Colton calls him.
I love Speedball Mike Bailey. I've loved Speedball Mike Bailey for years, even when he was having visa issues.
Speedball fan. He's okay. I don't have anything wrong with him.
If Christy Nome ever finds out he's got any kind of visa issues, he's out of here.
Uh-oh, look out.
Of course, he's pretty white, so it's pretty.
I'll take him to the gravel pit.
Don't get a tan anytime soon, Speedball. Jeez Louise. AEW Worlds. Oh, they got to ass face this weekend because he ass face on Friday goes, we're gonna set the tariffs at 50% for Europe because they suck ass 50%. And I was like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then when the markets open up on Tuesday, it's gonna take a giant shit. And he's gonna be playing golf all weekend, but he was, actually railing about trophy wives up at West Point, which was fun.
What the hell was that about?
Like, really? Do you not own a fucking mirror? Do you not know who you're married to?
Just everything about it. Everything about it.
So somebody got to him on Saturday. They went, no. Postponing until July the 9th. We're going to have time to hash this out with our European brothers and sisters.
Oh, God.
I wonder if Belkeish is listening. You see Macron today? He kind of got pie-faced by his wife getting off the plane in Vietnam.
I missed that.
You got to see the video. It's weird. She kind of like, and then he goes, he's out in like the doorway of the plane, so he has to kind of go, hey, everybody, how's it going?
Oh man,
another great idea. I think Macron is not that popular. I don't know. Belkeish can correct me on this. I think he's just seen kind of as a stopgap between having the crazy ass Nazis take over. Like, he's all right, he's okay, but he's better than the alternative.
Yeah,
that's what it is right now.
Don't we call that the stopgap?
The stopgap. And let me just say this. Okay, even if it was presented to me and Joe Biden demented, drools on himself, pisses in the corner, whatever, I still take that over what we got now. I'm sorry. I think that he was, and demonstrably, he was able to accomplish more than ass faces, supposedly in his right mind.
Any day of the week.
I don't give a fuck who was running the country. I don't care if he is, like I said, if he's taking a shit over by the shoe tree or whatever. Oh, Grandpa, get out of the closet. It doesn't matter.
He's not, he's not tweeting in all caps some deranged-filled tweet about everything except Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day, especially to the scum. Looks such an idiot. God. So fucking idiot. I believe Vladimir Putin has gone crazy. Once again, do you own a mirror? Because I don't know if you do. Timeless Tony Storm against Mina Shirakawa, the aforementioned. There's a great little picture set. Mina does like the naughtiest little picture sets on Instagram where she's like almost biting Tony Storm's butt. It was great.
Yeah. Mina.
The climax saw Mina deliver her glamorous driver, leading to a dramatic near fall. Storm barely survived, rallying courageously despite her visible severe knee pain after a series of reversals and counters, including multiple exchanges and inside cradles. Storm executed a sudden and decisive headbutt, followed swiftly by her devastating Storm Zero, successfully pinning Shirakawa. She retains the AEW Women's World Championship. Tony Storm is just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. As a performer past couple of years, she's just been outrageous, right?
Honestly, man, I don't see how if there was an MVP given for AEW, she would win it hands down for the past year or so. I mean, there's not one person. I mean, you can maybe say, maybe, I don't know. I can't even think anybody that comes close. I mean,
not in that company. Not in that company for sure.
And I don't know. I give WWE some shit for letting her go and not seeing what they had in her, because she is a gold mine, man.
Well, I think 50, and I love Mariah May, but I think 50% of the reason that WWE is even interested in wanting to sign her is because of Toni Storm.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think she knows that.
I would think so, yeah.
I feel like she knows that. So I
would think so.
Let me see.
I'll be really interested to see what they do with Mariah May once she gets to WWE, because I'm trying to think in my mind how they could present her without effing it up, you know?
Right. Well, I don't know. I've heard people say this and that and the other about that whole situation about like it's another blonde that's going in there and all this. I think Mariah May is going to be just fine. I think she'll be able to get over just like she's been able to get over any other time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if that's going to be an issue, they can always dye her hair if that's the case. I mean, shit.
I agree. I would agree. I'm getting this warning about not having enough storage, but I just upgraded to the fucking 2 terabytes, so I don't really know. Give me a moment to go through this and get everything back. This is disgusting. Because I just bought like 2 terabytes worth of fucking storage. How are they not doing it?
Come on, terabytes. What's up?
Google, you're kicking my ass. It's destroying me, man. There's some people that are upset with WWE booking ever since WrestleMania because of Cody and everything. I don't understand any of that. Do you?
What do you mean? People upset with for
like the
Cody
way that they kind of should? Yeah, the way that they gave the belt to John Cena, I guess, and then this, all that stuff.
I mean, I was upset about the whole way it went down. I'm not still like, raging over it or anything. It's just you ask me a question about it, then I'm still going to tell you that I'm not real happy about it, but I'm not letting it fester or anything.
I think I'm not really pissed off about it or anything like that. I think their booking is fine for the most part. I'm not upset really about anything that they're doing per se. I wonder how this AAA thing is going to go though. This what do you call it? The Worlds Collide thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be wild. They were already trying to do that with El Hijo de Vikingo, who tried to kill us a couple of years ago.
Yeah, quite literally, man.
He tried to destroy us.
He destroyed the chair Britt was sitting in, and that's no joke. If Britt was sitting in the chair, Britt might have a I don't know, a messed up knee at this point. I don't know.
At the very least,
you bailed out just in time.
Man, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? What did you think of Monday Night Raw? Did you enjoy Monday Night Raw tonight?
It was pretty good. A lot of times, I don't have very big expectations for holiday shows, for lack of a better name, like the Memorial Day shows, the Labor Day shows, the 4th of July is on a Monday, that sort of thing. Those shows usually are not quite as exciting to me as others, but it was pretty good tonight. I mean, it was okay. Better than average, I guess.
We saw another AML show yesterday in Winston-Salem with the return of Brad Attitude, this time as a babyface.
Yes. Yeah, been a while. I don't know if have we ever seen him as a babyface?
I don't think so. And he did, and he's with Gustavo, their other big babyface, and there was a move where they were going to spear Gustavo. He pushes him out of the way, and he takes the spear, and Gustavo gets the pin on the bad guys.
He took one for the team.
So that Brad Attitude is absolutely 100% like. He's on board with being a babyface, man. He's not going to turn on him until he does.
Until he does.
Until he actually does.
But let's savor the moment with the babyface Brad Attitude.
I love it. I mean, I think he's been one of the greatest performers we've ever seen. I always talk about the mythical Carolina Independent Workers Hall of Fame. I think he's in it for sure.
Oh, God, yes. God, yes. And really, man, and maybe did I tell you, or did I say this? But it's kind of obvious. But out of that whole crowd that was working back in the day when you and I started going to like the CWF events, I think he's the Lone Ranger now, man.
I think he is. Yeah.
Out of everybody that was there,
he's been in the business for so long. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had another really great. It was another great experience. We always have a great experience over with AML with Tracy and those guys. They always do just an outstanding job.
Got to see the Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers were in action, and they brawled backstage, man. They were brawling backstage. It was crazy.
Yeah, man. It got crazy. It got wild. JBL made a run in.
Yeah, for no reason. Weird.
Kind of weird. Yeah, just out of the blue.
Throws down that lariat. It was just very odd, very strange. I don't know, man.
Maybe we'll get some explanation next time.
I'd like to get some explanation. Oh, he's done this before. He did that at WrestleCade where he was working with TNA and he came in and clotheslined somebody, but he was doing an angle where it was like a what's his deal? Why is he here? It was like one of those deals. I don't know if we ever got a payoff on that one.
Yeah, this is a kind of the same thing,
really. Swerve Strickland, you saw he got the TNA World Championship.
Oh, you mean Trick Williams?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, wrong guy. Wrong black guy, Britt.
Well, Strick and Trick. I see where you messed up there.
The tricksters. The trickster got the TNA World Championship at Battleground. That's pretty wild, huh?
I think it was. Yeah, that was wild. But you know what? I think that was a good thing. I was afraid that old Trickster was going to get lost in the sauce since he lost the championship from NXT and then didn't get called up after WrestleMania.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, we I think both of us were kind of afraid he was going to get lost in the sauce. So I think this puts him up, you know, kind of back in the relevancy level of things. So I'm not, and freaking dude, you know, Hendry doesn't need this belt right now. He's over his Rover. Either way, you know what, if he's got a belt or not, he's fine.
Yeah, you can't really touch Joe Hendry right now. He's been like he's been like on a whole other level for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the guy just, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. I'm kind of glad they did this. And plus, you know, good for TNA. It probably puts more eyes on them, you know.
I like the partnership that they're doing. Again, I wonder how this thing with AAA is going to work out, given those all-important U.S.-Mexican relations that aren't that great right now.
Not too good.
For some reason or other, I can't think of why, but it's not really so awesome at the moment. And that Worlds Collide thing is going to be pretty nutty. That'll be very interesting to watch for sure.
I'm thinking it may not be that way on every single event they put on with them with AAA, but I bet you this particular one will be sort of off the chain just to get people hooked on it. You know, that's what I'm going at.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right. Any other final thoughts on another award-winning episode of Katie Vick is Alive? Do you have any other stuff that you were looking at per se?
No, just a lot's happened since the last time we got together. So we were just trying to put it all together here. So we probably missed a couple things, but we'll catch back up.
Yes, we are. Life happened to us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, life did.
Life is a thing that happened to us. We appreciate your support as always. Brad has left us, but I know that his memory is going to be something I'm going to carry on for the rest of my life. And again, we're going to try to get him in the Hall of Fame, and I'm in touch with the family and stuff. And I appreciate, we've gotten a lot of nice messages over the past 3 weeks or so. So I really appreciate everybody who reached out to me.
I'm glad you've been putting up some of those clips from Brad and Britt.
Those old ones. Yeah. We got I literally have many hours of those. So yeah, we'll be able to see some of that stuff for a long time to come.
That's awesome.
Bryant is available for all sorts of social media stuff. It's going to be Dad of Stanley on the Instagram and also on the are you still Stanley Jackson 23 on the TikTok?
Yes, I am.
All right. And then you're There the Twos, THE.
Oh, TikTok. Yes. I'm sorry.
And you are There the Twos, THEYRE, There the Twos on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky at Britt Whitmire, BRITTWHITMIRE, and at Real Britt Whitmire on Threads and on Instagram. So please, if you want to reach out, love to have your thoughts on stuff that's going on and appreciate all your support. Till next time, fans, we'll see you ringside. All right. Stop streaming. And I don't know where my recording thing is, but maybe it's around.